This is a Lexus RX 450H, a hybrid version of the brand's mid-size crossover. 7 years after its debut, is your RX still competitive? And is a hybrid the one to buy? Let's find out. The Lexus RX first came out back in 1998, and back then it won our SUV of the Year award. It was a breakthrough because of the way that it drove, that it looked, and everything that it brought with it. This 4th generation model came out in 2015, and over the years it's gotten a few updates. Who does it compete against? Well, we have the Acura MDX, Genesis GV80, Cadillac XT5, and of course the Lincoln Nautilus. And where does it sit on Lexus lineup? Right between the NX and GX. As with any Lexus, design is a huge part, and the RX is no exception. Let's start here with the front with the spindle grille. It's not only huge, but it's also pretty angular. You see like how many lines it has, how it cuts through the corners, and how it sort of like sticks out of the car. That's not my favorite part about it, but I do like the pattern that it has. Of course, a signature element for Lexus, it's also the daytime running lights, the shape of it, and you have triple beams in this RX. It's an option, but it's something that looks pretty cool and more premium. Moving on to the profile, you're gonna see big character lines running all the way from the front to the back, and I wanna call out this black window right here on the C-pillar. It gives it kind of like a coupe-like look to the SUV, although it's just a trick for the eye. Moving back here, the taillights are gonna wrap around the corner, and you of course have that Lexus L badge sticking right out of the middle. Because this is the F-Sport model, you're gonna have a lot of dark details like the darkened rims, the dark mirror caps, and also back there on the taillight. Overall, the styling is quite polarizing. There's some people that are gonna love it, and other people like me that don't really like it. I think there's just a lot going on right there on the front with the grille and with the sharp character lines. But the RX is a popular crossover, and design is a huge part of it. Inside, it's a mix of the new and the old, and what I mean by that is that with the new you get this large screen. It's a touch screen, but you can also control it via this touchpad, but it's just easier and better if you control it via the touch screen. And with the old, I mean that it's 2022 and we have a CD player. That's right. In an era where CD players are essentially extinguished, we have a CD player in the Lexus RX. Moving on to other sides of the interior, I do like how well padded every surface is. The leather on the steering wheel, on the armrest here, or on the door panels, it's pretty soft and pretty nice, feels good quality. What I don't like a lot is the design of the center console. There's just too many buttons right here. I do like the analog clock, it's a nice touch, but other than that, it's just a bunch of buttons cramped into this small space. I also don't like how the design of the center console is. For example, if you want to charge your phone, yeah, you have a wireless charger, but you kind of have to go like around the shifter in order to put it in place. Other than that, this is a 2-row version, which means that there's only space for 5 people, but you can get a longer wheelbase, an RXL, with an optional 3rd row. This model, for example, has pretty good space for those sitting back there, not only for people, but also for cargo. And here in the front, it's also pretty spacious and pretty nice. So overall, the RX has nice features and good interior space, but it also has some technology that's out of date. Talk about performance. Underneath the hood, you can find a 3.5-liter V6 engine that's mated to 2 electric motors, one in the front axle and one in the rear, and that gives you all-wheel drive capability. A CVT automatic is the only transmission available, and that powertrain is gonna deliver 308 horsepower, which is pretty good given its size and its segment. Of course, because this is a hybrid, you're gonna get better fuel economy, and it's gonna be 31 miles per gallon on the city and 28 on the highway. That's actually not bad for the segment, let alone for a big luxury car like the RX 450H. In terms of driving, it's not gonna be the most powerful crossover out there. It's also not trying to be that. Instead, it's gonna be something that drives nicely, and it's gonna be saving you money at the pump. Because the RX came out a few years ago, its safety ratings and safety technologies are a little behind the segment. And what I mean by that is that the NHTSA, for example, gave it 4 stars out of 5, and the IIHS awarded it with its Top Safety Pick award and not its Top Safety Pick Plus award, which is the best of the best essentially. In terms of technologies, sure, you're gonna find adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and a big laundry list of technologies, but you're not gonna find a full safety suite of technologies like we find these days in the luxury SUV space. So how much for the Lexus RX? The 350 model with the base gas engine starts at just over $46,000. This trim next to me, as equipped, the 450H, the hybrid model, with the F-Sport package is just over $62,000. That's not bad for the segment. That's actually right in line with what the Cadillac XT5 or the Lincoln Nautilus would go for on a similarly equipped package. But it's also a little above what the Genesis GV80 costs. Essentially, the RX is a good value. Not only is it priced competitively within the segment, but this, the 450H model with the F-Sport package, brings you the looks, the equipment, and the hybrid powertrain. The one thing you should know about the Lexus RX is this. In the next year or two, there will be a new version coming out. But in the meantime, if what you're looking for is value, efficiency, and well-equipped SUV, then the RX is a smart pick. To see our vehicle rankings and complete buyer's guide, visit motortrend.com/cars.